Hey everyone, Albert here from originalintent.co.uk with another soundbite of lessons I learned from other humans, clients, friends, family, about what it means to be a human being. Today's soundbite is about ego. Now, I'm not an expert on ego and the theory of ego, but I'd love to share a little bit of a client experience I had. Bearing in mind, I'll modify some details for the sake of confidentiality. So this client came to me with the challenge around his mom, mentioning that his mom was really unkind to him and really treated him badly and made snide remarks about his girlfriend, and this became quite bitter. Seemed like she was quite attacking towards him, and he couldn't make sense of it because she's ill and she stays with them on the property and he takes care of her. He takes care of most of her, of what she needs in life, in reality. So we unpacked that a little bit and just try to see what came to the surface. And what came out was this idea that, when there's this principle I've heard in therapy and coaching where we say, hurt people hurt. So if you have a wound or you have experienced hurt, you tend to hurt other people. And if you're the one being attacked, like this client of mine, it's really hard to recognize that there might be pain on the other side. And in his case, in his mom's case, one of the things that could be going on for her is that being quite dependent on your children is challenging. Our ego needs to have a sense of self. Pop culture talks about destroying the ego or death of the ego or how bad ego is, because we see a lot of egomania in politics and in rulers of today. And then we think ego is a bad thing. But ego is quite natural. When you're 2 or 3, you start claiming yourself, your place in the world. You're saying, mine, me, I want to tie my own shoes. It's a very natural and important part of being a human being, is to have a sense of worth and self. So in the dynamic between my client and his mom, what's probably going on for her is that by becoming more and more dependent on him, she's lost a little bit of her sense of self, her sense of worth, her sense of ego structure, as we would call it. And in that sense of being vulnerable and having to be dependent, she might be experiencing some pain. Being dependent and receiving care is a very vulnerable state. We think we're helping someone by when they're ill or when they need help. But receiving help, as most of us know, can be challenging because it acknowledges that we need care. It's an acknowledgement that we don't have it all together, that we're not self-sufficient. So next time when you interact with someone and they're mean to you or they're aggressive or they're defensive, it can be hard to receive that, but it's useful to always double check and think what might be going on behind this attacking movement in terms of their own sense of self-worth, their sense of ego, their sense of I am and I have a place in the world, that could be driving that behavior. Because most of the time, almost all of the time, our behaviors towards others is not about them. It's about us. I've had to learn that. I'll have to keep learning that the hard way. So hopefully this was helpful. This was my soundbite on ego.